Korea's Tier 3 rising. It is not the Law Alliance focuses and socks of this world to make it into the top 4. No, it's one of these guys. Soin versus Chaemiko, two former roommates in the Human versus Orc for the Final Four. Who's gonna face Lin in a Korean derby for the grand final tomorrow? It is two former roommates clashing here for their best result of their career. Will it be Chaemiko clapping his way into the semi-final, or will it be Soin pulverizing Chaemiko out of his way? This is of course a dual cast, and I couldn't be happier to have a man by my side who can play both of these races at a top-notch level. Carson, how you doing, my man?
I'm great. Pulverize, I like the pun, very nice. And will we see Torns? Will we see Farseer Headhunters in this series? There's actually a lot of interesting strategies both these players could do, especially on this map, Amazonia. There could be the Blood Mage first. It is an Archmage already, unfortunately, but there could have been a Mountain King, there could have been a Fire Lord Tower Rush, and although we know what Chaemiko's doing, Soin still has to clear all these options. That's why we're going to see the Peon, but yeah, there's a lot of tricky stuff, especially Chaemiko could do in this series.
That is a wonderful point you bring up. That is something I wanted to say as well. Everything you know about Human Orc, you can kind of throw that out the window. It is one of my favorite matchups in all of Warcraft, even though it's usually just Tier 3 or an early round match, because these guys don't play the norm. Both players love to go Tier 3. Chaemiko on the other side. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a cheeky Fire Lord tower push thrown in. It is a long best of 5 series, you know, that can happen from time to time.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that in a best of 5. In a best of 3, most people play it safe. You don't have very many maps, and you always have those couple of vetoes from your opponent. But in a best of 5, you have one veto, a pop. There's plenty of room for cheeses, and I think we'll probably see it. The Orc cannot really do too much. Soin, he's probably maybe going to throw in Farseer Headhunters once or twice, but not really a cheese build. But Chaemiko has a lot of options. But here, so far, so standard. This is a good map for the Orc to start on. If you're Soin here, you're going to get the level 2 early. You're going to have the Chain Lightning unlocked, and you can really bully the human player off the map on a couple of creep camps.
Exactly. We see these guys in the quarterfinal and we're all kind of surprised, but should we be too surprised? Chaemiko comes from kind of back-to-back second places in the Huya Invitational, also in the Yule Cup, fell there to Focus and 1-0 respectively. And Soin, not only did he make waves in the DreamHack Decider qualifier, but also previously in Xelos Red, where he made it into the semis and eliminating Foggy 3-0 prior. And in the group stage, by the way, 2-0 against Chaemiko. So this should be, even though Remo pointed on the stats, it's like 3-9 in favor of Chaemiko in the last year, this should be a match on even footing.
Yeah, and it says something about the caliber of this tournament, that these are the underdogs going into the top 4. Like, these are some of the greatest players in the world currently and of all time. If you look at overall, like, players are just so good nowadays to be at the upper echelons of this, you know, play that we have in Korea and Asia currently. It's like really difficult. So we're gonna see what the top has to offer us so far. Level 2.5 Archmage, level 2.6 Farseer, so a little bit of a bonus for Soin. But nothing exchanged so far. No first blood just yet, except for the Scout Peon.
Exactly. A little bit of a tame early game. Maybe they are just feeling the water, you know. And let's see how good your opponent is here. Speaking of Asia, just realized that the semifinals will be perfectly even. We're going to have 2 Koreans, we're going to have 2 Chinese, and they're facing each other. So we have a Korean versus Chinese grand final as well. That's how we like it, but that is the first aggression of this game. And it's even a little Fortitude-esque, I would say. Early aggression with a level 2 Archmage, maybe due to the Claw, 2 Water Elementals. Soin is ready to repair though.
Wow, the repair is good, but there's so much damage from the Archmage. Wow, and the 2 Water Elementals only level 1, but he's going to get the Burrow at the end of the day, and that's such a huge pick-off. Look at the tech timing for both players.
Oh.
Stronghold about to finish. The Burrow is finished. Okay, there is no supply for the Tauren Chieftain, and another Burrow is going to have to be rebuilt, or what are you going to do? You got a Suicide, a Peon, and a Grunt? Okay, he got it out.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I think he killed a Peon there or something. He dropped to 26, then queued a Grunt, but realizes quickly that, okay, I kind of need my TC, as this matchup is oftentimes an arms race at Tier 2 with the Tier 2 heroes. Archmage and Farseer respectively are kind of support units there to buy time. The Archmage, of course, providing mana as well, but it's really about the TC and the Mountain King.
Absolutely, and it is a map where you can aggress on level 2. You want to get that level 3 for the level 2 clap, level 2 stomp for the Orc player, but it is a map where there can be a lot of aggression. Such a small map as Amazonia, there's not very many camps, and the few that there is, you'd like to contest them. I'm looking at the expansion, I'm looking at the mercenary camps. He who's able to get one of them normally gets, you know, he can run down and try to get the second one. If you can get both, it's going to be a huge boon. But Soin, is he building a bestiary? Oh, this is cool. Okay, this is a little bit of Hitman-esque. If you know your opponent is going for Rifle Caster, typically you'll go for an early expansion is what the Orc wants to get, but something Hitman has been doing recently that maybe Soin has adapted is Grunt, Shaman, mass upgrades, no expansion attempt on tier 2, just massing Grunts, and you know, Grunts are pretty good against Rifles, Neil.
Yeah, absolutely. Normal damage against medium armor, we all know that. Battle for the last here should be going to Chaemiko with the Stormbolt. Could either use it against the creep itself or against the Farseer to make sure that there's no chain lightning. We have an early War Mill, by the way. I wonder if this indicates an early reinforced defenses to just eliminate the possibility of Chaemiko to dive his base and go for the burrows again.
Yeah, one footman falling. Yeah, +1 upgrade actually before that reinforced kicks in. So this is going to be very early. Probably 1-1, even 2-2 grunts, but yeah, he should definitely get that reinforced defense and definitely wants to keep that Farseer alive on level 3. Me and Todd were talking about this a little bit against Undead, of course, getting that early level 3 Farseer, but it's even better against Human with these level 2 Wolves. It's so good. It is so good to have an early level 3 Farseer. We probably won't see it too often in this series, but Amazonia, that's why it's so good for the Orc player.
Okay, we have Stomp ready now. I wonder, should you listen to Todd when it's about the human versus undead matchup? But that's the question for later. We have a lot of summons here, obviously. Wolves against Water Elementals. It is Soin on the chase with the speed scroll first. Unwilling to use the first Stomp. It was also denied by a Stormbolt on the Mountain King, who's already at 50%. The TC is still full. Can he reach to the back line? Not really, because his own grunts were blocking, but a little bit of a miss-rally on Chaemiko's side as well. Not the perfect engagement from either side. The dust settles, and they don't want to tango yet.
No tango until level 3 on those secondary heroes, of course, and the shop is going to be taken by Chaemiko. What is Soin going to go into? Perhaps his expansion, perhaps one of the middle camps. Yeah, the Archmage. Oh my dear lord, the Archmage. That's a lot of damage.
3 claws, it is Todd's dream. Which will never become reality, obviously, but yeah, that is indeed a problem. And we still don't have reinforced defenses. It's plus 15 damage on top of Water Elementals. The Water Elementals only level 1, though, as of course it's going to be Shaman for the Purge, and so they are less effective. So rather give some mana regen to his Priest and to the MK, which will be more impactful.
Yep, and the Torn Chieftain is trying to get that expansion creep. A big consumable could be picked up there, but Chaemiko's going on the aggressive with only level 2.4 Mountain King right now, but it's enough to stop Soin from creeping this expansion. And again, if he could steal this, like I said earlier, there's 2 camps that are very, very valuable for each player, and that's the corners, respectively. So if Chaemiko can steal this, this would be massive.
Big battle for it indeed, but Soin is a little bit too late. Big Invo Potion, and even the escape should be okay, should be covered, but he really wants his engagement now. Is Soin speed scroll again, but stopped in his tracks by a Stormbolt once again. The TC is dropping down to 50%, and there's not much he can do about it. Grunt also going low. The first purges are coming in, and the Grunts are reaching the back line. Man, it's a 1-for-1 exchange at the moment, but Soin is able to save his units, while Chaemiko is, yeah, losing rifles left, right, and center.
Oh my god, lovely micro so far by Soin. He's going to finally lose that first grunt. Maybe going to lose the Torn Chieftain. Not so lovely after all with a Stormbolt. And that's how Chaemiko turns it around with the Militia coming in. Level 3, it looks so good. He got 2-3 rifles for free without losing anything. And now the tables have turned. Another rifle going to fall, but the Torn Chieftain is definitely the carry. Luckily for Soin, look at the experience. It was 1 kill away from level 3 before it died, but the Town Portal out is going to save the remainder of that army.
When flying a little too close to the sun here, Mr. Icarus. But okay, there's still game to take for both of them, around 40 supply. Sorcerers are coming for more slow, and that can be a weapon because there's no AoE dispel, it's just single target, and you need to dispel Water Elementals, obviously. On top of that slow, could be a slow trap kicking in. Stormbolt again, and it seems like once again every Stormbolt is a kill. And that was a 50% mana Shaman.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, and definitely someone's going to be on the back foot for a while, and Chaemiko could just march up to the top left of the map. The cool thing about going rifles on this map as well is you can very easily take those red camps with mass rifles, whereas for someone it's going to be hard with mass grunts. You're getting clapped by the big golem, so it could be tough. Is this an expansion attempt, or is he just pulling peons? I have no idea, but there's grunts, there's shamans, but there's no level 3 Tauren Chieftain just yet. It is, luckily for someone, out of the altar, but it's going to be a while before he's in fighting shape.
Both still at around 40, not going up yet. Both super broke as well. Stormbolt on a grunt. Will he get it in front? Ah, the slow. Slow is absolutely wonderful in situations like this. And it's not usually the #1 weapon of the Mountain King in this matchup. That's rather clap, but Stormbolt seems to be super effective. No one really... Or like, Soin doesn't have the biggest items. There's a heal scroll, there's a big invo potion and a small invo potion. So shop control seems to be a little better for Chaemiko. He's sacrificing supply for items, and I think that's the right call.
I think that's a great call, keeping these heroes alive. One water elemental is going to give level 4 and level 3 to Soin, so this is maybe where he wants to fight, but like you just pointed out, he needs to get those items. One heal scroll purchase with lava potion and vulnerability, but he just doesn't quite have the gold yet. But the Archmage going to go back one more camp. Wouldn't be too bad for Chaemiko either. If he gets this expansion, will be level 4. You know, level 2 aura is not the greatest, but force some more purges, especially with all those Sorks right now for slow.
We have a Beastery coming up for Soin, but did he cancel it or did it finish? I'm not 100% sure. Probably finished. And then Kodo Beasts against possible breakers, a Wyvern Edition. Okay, it did finish. We see the Kodo Beast now. Wyvern Edition against rifles, of course, not the best thing to go for, but maybe you can backstab the casters a little bit down the road once you took out 2 or 3 more of them. Now a 50-50 battle. Chaemiko not moving to the shop, retreating. He called for the militia once, so he certainly has them ready.
Yeah, that's something I love to see Chaemiko do pretty often, especially on these small maps. Just call militia every time you can. You don't need that much lumber. He's getting a lot of upgrades, about to be 2-1 on those rifles, but just call them all the time. Call the boys if you get in a fight. It's very good, even if it forces a stomp, even if you lose a lot of them. You have Shredder access on a map like Amazonia, and now the expansion is next on the menu, but Soin isn't going to give him the time.
Oh, there's some Ant-Snares here. Again, Stormbolt losing level 1 spell. The clap didn't hit too much, actually. This spell is good. Level 4 on the Archmage. Massive Storm that will take out one of the... Oh, this Invis! Beautifully done by Chaemiko, saving that rifle over there. And also the engagement with the Mountain King is super nice. That clap hit like a truck. And Soin seems to be in a little bit of trouble. The Stormbolts are gorgeous! The TC kind of handicapped because of that. And he can't really do the impact that's necessary.
Yeah, nice stomp at the end there, but the Tauren Chieftain is always so low. Mana Pot was used. I think it was picked up from the Golem, actually, because that looks like a greater mana. Wow. Maybe not, but the Kodo is going to take a lot of damage from the rifles. Invis is saving everything. The Sources, again, another save with the Invis. The Tauren Chieftain, before he gets a stomp off, he's going to fall again, and that's probably going to be game 1 going for Chaemiko.
He was jumping in the air already for a wonderful epicenter stomp, but again, a hammer to the head, and it stopped that TC. Excellent execution by Chaemiko. Deservedly winning map #1 and getting the advantage in the long best of 5.
Yeah, very, very good performance. A couple of Tauren Chieftain losses, but it was a forced error because the Potion of Vulnerability were always stolen. I'm wondering, was that a Mana Pot purchase from the shop, or was that picked up from the Golem that Mountain King had? Because he did get some mana at the end, which gave him that Stormbolt, which killed that Tauren Chieftain. I didn't know if the Mountain King went back to the shop or not, but if he got that, that would have been a very lucky drop from that Golem at his expansion.
Absolutely. Whew, that went down pretty much to the Mountain King, carrying again. I don't know, how do you stop this little dwarf?
Yeah, it's tough, right? And he always had the experience advantage. Chaemiko, the Tauren Chieftain, died at level 2.9999. He needed any kill, any unit, kill a critter, and you get level 3 in that position. So, you know, it was a little bit unfortunate that he wasn't able to take a fight because, you know, the Mountain King, the rifle numbers getting high, they're going to scale much better into the late game. As soon as the Tauren Chieftain gets high level, the human player can just go into breakers. So you really want to get early level 3 Tauren Chieftain and take a nice fight when you have upgraded grunts, because those are going to fall off when there's Sorks as well. So, you know, that was the timing Soin wanted to fight with level 3, and Chaemiko just had the Stormbolt ready, put it to the Tauren Chieftain's face and killed him, and then there was never really another timing to fight in that game.
Chaemiko rocking that Remo Demo cosplay hair, and also in the micro department, saving a lot of units. Man, I haven't seen invisibility used that early to that extent. That's a new spin to this.
Yeah, especially on only one Sanctum, investing that early and that long of an upgrade. And also Sorks, you of course need Priests because you need to dispel the Lightning Shield, the Wolves, there's lots of things you need to get rid of. So to invest just the time and production on one Sanctum is good. Or it's hard, but it's really good if you're able to save that many units with it.
Yeah, I love the fact that Chaemiko went Brilliance Aura too. Like, sometimes you want to go for the burrows on early level 3, early tier 2, but afterwards, what do Water Elementals really do except drain mana from the Shaman for Purge? This is a support Archmage. Well, with these claws, he was also a damage dealer, of course, but a support Archmage more than ever, and that allowed the Mountain King to spam the spells. Level 2 Brilliance Aura, I think, a go-to pick most of the time.
Absolutely, yeah. And let's not forget about that burrow kill early on. That was huge. That killed the lumber. Maybe Soin would have preferred to get a bestiary early. I pointed out it was Grunt Shaman, but the bestiary could have helped on a small map. Raiders with Ensnare is always good for, pressure play, fighting Chaemiko off those camps. But we'll see it. Northern Isles will be the second map. And this is a good map for rifles yet again for Chaemiko. So we'll see if Soin can adapt, if he can adjust, and if he can go into game 2 stronger than the first.
Okay, game 2 it is, everybody. These two fighting for the semis. Lin is waiting, and he will definitely be watching to see what the young Korean squad has to offer. Game 1 says a lot, as the execution was really good. I really love the grunt control by Soin. He showed that already in the game against Moon, when the grunts were always attacking the archers. Here in this very game, they are always attacking the rifles, as of course there are no breakers, it's a little easier to do. We are on the cold lands of Northern Isles, and there might be a possibility for some tier 3 shenanigans here if the game allows it.
And there's also a possibility on this map for a fast expansion, although that is more of a Chinese human style. Infi TH, they do like it quite a bit more than, Chaemiko and Sok, they don't normally go for it. They normally do like their 2-farm tech into Riflemen. There's some very specific details that we can get into about this matchup on this map, but we'll see. I don't want to be wrong again, so I got to look smart, so we got to wait to see if Chaemiko actually does it. For now, just Farseer, Archmage, standard stuff.
Yeah, this is a little too standard for my taste, Carson. I expected more cheekiness here. Soin, a wonderful TC Headhunter player, by the way. That is the strategy we rarely see. But if someone plays it, it's either Linguagua or Soin. I guess Soin learned that in some 2-2s, 4-4s that he plays with his Korean brothers. And sometimes plays it in the 1-on-1 department as well. But of course, it's about so much prestige and money. So rather stick with the standard that you're more comfortable.
Yeah, for sure. And he's got, a lot of replays to learn from on this map in particular, and from, so many human players and orc players. You can learn a lot. And there's not a lot of people doing Farseer Headhunters. It's sort of a new thing, and we've seen it a couple times in Europe, a couple times in North America. But in Asia, it's pretty new to do against humans. So best to stick with the guns, best to stick what you're strongest at. And right now, Chaemiko is going for that 2-farm tech. He's going for that quick Mountain King and probably Riflemen. And there is a grunt for Soin. When you go for this grunt before you tech, you want to get something done with it. So we'll see if he's able to kill any footmen. He does steal 1 creep, nicely done, but only a tiny bit of experience for the Farseer.
I'd get the Water Elemental here. On the other side, Chaemiko is, I think, getting one of the Wolves. Not re-summoned, as the other one is very, very healthy, and he's not getting that Water Elemental. Okay, so early pressure, Farseer trying to harass a little bit, but Chaemiko paying good attention and wasting a lot of time with this Farseer. I'm not too sure if I should call it that, but there's no creeping going on. Both stay at the tier or level 1, and that should benefit the Farseer. Last hit, big one. Farseer gets it as well and takes experience off of the map of Chaemiko. And as we said, experience on the second hero is more important than in probably any other matchup.
Absolutely, and level 2 for that Archmage is going to be great. You mentioned the Aura, even level 2 on the level 3 Archmage last game, but yeah, just getting the Aura unlocked as early as you can to start getting more Water Elementals is going to be great. But Soin's doing a really good job of just stealing away the experience, denying that Archmage any level 2 opportunity. Of course, there's not many footmen, only 4 on the field currently, so it's going to be hard to really take any bigger camps for Chaemiko if he's not able to get this green. I didn't see who got that. I think the Farseer did, right?
Yes, he has pretty good experience. Half a level already, Archmage at 50% HP. And in the past 2 encounters, by the way, both Northern Isle matches went to Soin. That's an interesting stat, as Chaemiko is usually taking the maps. Also, Chaemiko's best matchup and one of his best maps. But there's something special about Northern Isles that gives Soin the advantage in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, maybe he does something new. I'm very interested to see how Soin plays it, because Chaemiko plays it very similar to Sok, actually. They have a very similar style, being both the Korean humans, the real powerhouses. But we'll see. We'll see what adjustments Soin makes. A couple of footmen could potentially go for a surround, but maybe the Farseer is too mighty. He would break that grunt out. The Archmage, as you pointed out, half health, and you'd love to heal that up. I like this split creeping as well. That's going to give that oh-so-important Chain Lightning. And with that Cloak of Shadows as well in the Farseer, you could really bully the Mountain King on tier 2 and not risk any surrounds.
It's a smart... Oh, he even destroys the item. That's a smart play by Soin, not exposing the grunts too much to the chip damage and surround opportunities while still harassing. Oh, and another last hit by Soin. Absolutely beautiful. Now Chain Lightning is unlocked. There's a lot of mana left, but I think he has done enough. So Mountain King will join the battlefield soon, and then there's only 2 options, right? It's either Tuskars or expansion directly, as all the green spots are gone and you can't really compete for the middle of the map anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll probably see Chaemiko call Militia and go for his expansion right away, then his lab, then his Tuskars. But there's no expansion for Chaemiko to push, most likely from Soin. He's probably going to stay one base. He's probably going to go Grunt Shaman, because we see he's already getting that early +1, just like he did last game, even though he has the lumber for the Bestiary, has the lumber for the expansion, and he's also creeping his own Tuskar. So, oh yeah, he's going for the shop. This does make sense as well, with the map control of that Mountain King.
Okay, let's see. Maybe another great last hit from Soin, maybe a Chain Lightning. There's 2 footmen very hurt. Soin is definitely going to get experience from this camp, I guess. So who's going to get it? Stormbolt? Nope. It's the MK with Rune Braces, which is excellent for an Archmage, for example, so he can't be zapped too easily. Also for the Mountain King, who can dive into the Orc army a little deeper then, a little easier. What's the item for the TC scroll? The Beast.
Yeah, it's going to help out a little bit. The Scroll the Beast, of course, isn't really, but more disenchant is good for either player, honestly. We were talking about that with the slow last game, so just making them have to disenchant a lot of things with the Shamans or with the Priests. It's always good, but certainly you'd like a better item for the Tauren Chieftain, but level 3 is going to be coming anyway, so someone's going to be happy with this. The Mountain King a little bit slowed down. He did go for that shop first, which is more so for the item than for the experience, but he was able to get it. Now going to pull that lab and probably solo creep with the Mountain King, but the Farseer is so healthy. This has been really nice harassment from Soin.
Yeah, but I think that shop creep is showing some confidence by Chaemiko, right? He's going out in the middle of the map. He knows, okay, I got my Mountain King now. What are you going to do? I got my Stormbolt. I still got a couple of footmen. And I know I can beat you in a fight. My micro is amazing. Everybody knows about my blocks and surrounds, so you better be careful, even though the early game wasn't really mine.
Absolutely. Level 3 on the Tauren Chieftain as well now, and Bestiary coming, so we didn't see that nice fight from Soin last game. He wasn't able to get up to that power spike of level 3, but now he's getting to that point. He's got the upgrades on his grunts. Chaemiko has the grunts, upgrades on his rifles as well, but the heal scroll, the invuln is going to Soin. This could be a very scary timing. Now that he's not invested in an expansion, he's just invested into the army he has currently. This could be a terrifying fight for Chaemiko to hold.
We have a heal scroll, we have a B scroll, we have an invo potion, we got a level 3 TC, and we got a speed scroll. So will this TC be able to connect? No, because there's once again a Stormbolt. Couple of purges going off to reduce the number of riflemen early on. One grunt already hurt, Clap is coming in, only level 1. TC can't get into the backline. What's up there? There apparently is a way to stop him, then it's Stormbolt over and over and over again. There's still more mana. Now the TC is in the epicenter really, but Militia coming out. The Wand of Mana Stealing is doing a wonderful job, and it's Stormbolt #1 weapon once again.
No speed scroll for Soin, so he's going to have to run away. Maybe would have almost had a town portal if he overcommitted there, but nicely not overcommitting. Didn't kill too many of the Militia. In fact, I think he only killed 1 in total, so the lumber isn't going to be hurting for Chaemiko, and he loves to get those upgrades as well. Early invisibility, like we saw last game, probably going to be coming, as we see 1 Sorceress coming out of that Arcane Sanctum. Oh, so close again, a critter could do it. So close to level 3 Mountain King, but, you know, Maybe one
Critter
wolf in the
could do
future.
A wolf, maybe, as
Yeah.
that gets sent out for scouting. With Rifleman, you can creep fairly easy and fast. With Sorcerers, you do have a little bit of control. With Stormbolt, of course, as well. I think that is what separates Chaemiko at the moment in these fights. It is the Mountain King separating the TC from the army, then blocking a little bit with whatever there is, illusions, footmen, MK, militia even maybe. So he's very well protecting his Rifleman. That's making the difference for now.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point, because normally you need that blocker line of breakers, but Chaemiko's doing it with just perfectly timed storm bolts. We saw the Tauren Chieftain raising his legs last game and then getting bolted right away. Chaemiko's been very good at that, and normally you can't just fight a Tauren Chieftain high level straight up, level 3, level 4, but he's doing it so well, and level 4 the Tauren Chieftain now.
Pretty sick, level 2 aura, but what are these item drops for Soin, man? Double crystal ball? Really? Ring of protection as well? That's so unfortunate. On the other side, the Mountain King is becoming more and more tanky. Evasion, of course, nice to have. Also a little bit more HP and mana. Stormbolt, Speed Scroll used already. Can the MK get in front? Because they're slow. Speed Scroll still ticking, and it is a safe escape. But Farseer didn't get any items.
Yeah, he just sold the crystal ball. No, he didn't even sell the crystal ball. Yeah, he didn't sell anything. He didn't get to the shop. That's really unfortunate for Soin, and the Mountain King definitely ready to fight with the double potion of mana. Could even get something better from the marketplace. Getting a mana stone! Oh no! This is horrible for Soin. We could be seeing 2-0 for Chaemiko just based off of these items. How many claps is that? What, 12 claps maybe in the tank ready to go?
I'm really bad at counting. You know, math in German schools is really not the best, I can tell you that. But he was kind of lucky in his group stage match against Fortitude as well, right? He got a lot of claws there. He got a lot of claws here on Amazonia. And he got a wonderful aura in the first match. So he can't complain. Focus said it in one of these quickfire rounds that it's just karma. The Warcraft RNG is based on karma, so Chaemiko did something really, really well in the past couple of weeks to be rewarded like that.
Alright, but Soin seems to be ready to fight. The items aren't in his favor, but the supply is, and he's got the Invis on the Tauren Chieftain. Could get a huge epicenter stomp, as you'd like to say, and with the lightning shield, with the chain lightning behind it, it could be a great fight as long as the grunts can get surface area. But the Invis footman, that's beautiful, and he's going to see the lack of aura if he's paying attention.
You know what?
Know this Invis.
You know what? I think he shouldn't have attacked this footman, because then Chaemiko wouldn't have known that there's a ward, and maybe the Mountain King moves in, he could fake it. We've seen that in the past couple of weeks, like 4 times where a player fakes that he has no detection, but he has. But the Mountain King is moving in immediately. Okay, there's the purge to stop him.
A level 4 on both the secondary heroes. No level 3 clap anytime soon. No level 3 stomp anytime soon.
Oh my god.
It may just be a fight. There's no upkeep broken so far by Chaemiko, actually. Okay, now he's breaking upkeep.
Okay, big battle for the mage. We have a... No way he sniped that. He did, right?
Energy as well goes the way of Soin at least. If that got on the Mountain King, Neil, I don't know. I probably would have just got up and left. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, me too, man. We have, by the way, Magic Sentry against the wards, which is a wonderful counter against the Invis TC that we see over and over again by Soin. Finally has an Invo Potion, finally has a Heal Scroll equipped with a Mana Potion as well. 2 Mana Potions and the Stone on Chaemiko. It is Chain Lightning 2 by the Wolf, I guess by the Farseer. I guess the Wolves have run its course now that there's Breakers and Control Magic. And it's once again... what's that?
What? What's happening?
What's he doing here? Storm TP immediately. He wanted to solo creep the MK for level 5, but oh boy, that backfired a little.
Oh, and that's actually a bigger mistake than it seems, because the red camp could definitely go to Soin now with the time he was granted. The Wolves are finishing off the Spidey boys down there, and the red camp could go to Soin. Chaemiko's running over, but I don't think he has enough time. Maybe he could stop the tail end of this. Maybe he could get a couple units in exchange, but he's definitely not going to be able to stop the Reaver from going down.
The Reaver, let's go for it. What could this be? Or Mana Aura, maybe? Or is it Hood of Cunning? Jesus.
Up the past, eh?
That's unoptimal, I would say.
Yeah.
Remainers of the creeps go to Chaemiko, but he wants to fight. He wants that level 5. The grunts are hurt, the shaman are hurt. Soin is backfiring here, and that's a stomp, but only on the Mountain King. Wants a hero focus, maybe. Speed Speed Scroll to deeper engage into that army, takes out the breakers. The Kodo Beasts are ready, didn't munch yet, but the second one might come in. There's always slow on these units, so he's kind of reliant on Speed Scrolls and End Snares again to give a little crowd control back, and that is Clap, that is Storm, that's the typical human versus Orc mid-game we see. Who's gonna drop first? There's an Invo Potion on both of them. Stormbolt hits the TC once again. Is he able to go into that potion? Yes, he is! 7-second cooldown, 7-second Invo for both of them. Who's gonna lose the second hero? I feel like the decision is close. We have the Stomp going off. Soin moves back. Is there a connection? Is there a follow-up? Where's the Chain Lightning? There we go. But a little bit of potion giving to that Mountain King, but actually both of them survive. Oh no! It's not because there's an End Snare. That's the crowd control Soin needed. Invis doesn't work under the net. And that is the MK 6 feet under.
Wow, what an incredible fight there. Both secondary heroes so close to dying, but the Chain Lightning doubling up and killing that Mountain King. Luckily, again, not level 5, just like last game. But yeah, we're going to have level 5 soon on that Torrent Chieftain, on that Mountain King that still has 1 potion of mana just because of the cooldown. That goes to show how much mana he had that entire fight. So hats off to Soin for actually winning that fight despite the items, which are now all gone. The Town Portal gone. You know, the heal scroll, the mana pot, the mana stone gone, replenishing some of those, but yeah, this is looking much better for Soin than I thought it would.
Chaemiko has a 10 supply lead, though. I think the front line was disappearing quite a bit against this MK, and its Invo Potion and Heal Scroll going to Chaemiko once again. 14 supply lead, but Chaemiko is broke. Soin got a Heal Scroll, has a Mana Potion. Maybe there's something at the shop. He once again gets a Footman. That is level 5!
Wow.
Oh!
They're always so close on these hero levels. The whole series are so close. One Footman makes a difference. Penitent of Energy, weirdly, on the far series. I'm assuming he's going to pass it over, but there's a Mana Potion. Level 3 Stomp is going to be huge if you can deal with the front line of breakers. Dakota comes in, the Raiders getting Snare. The Mountain King not yet back. How soon? It's not out yet. It's not anywhere near. It doesn't look like. Where is this Mountain King? Chaemiko, you need it. You have the expansion up, but you cannot defend it if you don't have the second hero.
Yeah, the soup doesn't lie usually, but here it does because 11 supply are still in production. It's the Stomp, it's the Chain Lightning, it is oh, not Mass Murder, because we have so much healing coming from that Heal Scroll, and now there's a reskill. Oh no, it's the 1-2-1 build with the Blizzard one. Interesting spin by Chaemiko. Signature move from him, of course, as well. Soin still rocking forward, though he will fight an MK very soon. That Stomp hit the Archmage once again. I don't think there's enough damage to kill him off, as there's also an Invo Potion once again. Speed Scroll to disengage. Kodo gets the Devour off, but oh man, tricky fight. It's a tug of war. Stay here, Soin. I want to continue this. I think he wanted to drop the Talisman to get the Mana Potion, but everything was a little too hectic. Now he does, and that's more Stormbolt. That's probably more kills if he can reach.
Wow, that was a great fight. Great fight from Soin. He kills all the peasants. He loses a couple units at the tail end, but he gets out as soon as the Mountain King gets here. Level 5 Mountain King, though. We know what that can do against the entirety of the Orc army. Human can get the breakers, but Orc cannot get anything like that. He's going to be eating claps all day, but the peasants have been dealt with at the expansion. Soin's going to have to go again soon, but he's got to heal up. Look at all the damaged units.
It's pretty crazy, man. They didn't fight any weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, but if they look at Northern Isles, they fight them on both sides. Clap, Blizzard versus Stomp, Chain Lightning. Killing off a couple of peasants here to go back. Oh, is he?
Oh my god.
He just clapping him?
Oh my god.
Oh!
Dear Lord, the damage, and there's more where that came from, but the Mountain King, you don't want to lose it again. That's your carry for this game, Chaemiko. Okay, there's the Blizzard. The Clap killed so many units. He's about to kill 3 more. And remember, the expansion is mining again. The Wolves should make their way down there if possible for Soin, but he's got to do something. He can't even get out of his base currently.
This is amazing for Chaemiko now, because he can always fall back a little, go to the shop, go get the heal scrolls, use his gold for that, and deny the ability for Soin to get these heal scrolls. And there's Clap and Blizzard. I'm not even too sure if you have to move out of a level 1 Blizzard, but it's kind of an instinct, and it's a little extra AoE to that already devious Clap, and having no heal scrolls against that is deadly.
Yeah, this has been beautifully played. Like, what are you going to do if you're Soin? You can maybe go to the marketplace and find heal wards. Oh, that's nice. A couple of priests are going to be caught out of position. Rally point misrallied, I guess. But where's the invul? Where's the heal scroll? They've been stolen, of course, as one invul, but I just don't think there's enough units. And they're all dying to Clap over and over again. And look at the breaker line. There's so many now for Chaemiko.
It's absolutely excellent. The late game human tier 2. Oh my god, he's blocking them. You shall not pass by Chaemiko. Big movie fan, obviously. He's reenacting Lord of the Rings right there. Archmage super safe. Breaker and Mountain King deal with this. But now, maybe a little bit of a Hail Mary for Soin. He wanted to dive for that Archmage, but the rest of the army pulls back, and now he's in a weird position. Has to defensively stomp to create some distance between the cow and the dwarf. But the hammer lands somewhere, and wherever the hammer lands, there's death.
35 against 60. Supply, the expansion still mining. Maybe the Mountain King's going to fall again. Town Portal going to be passed, possibly. Oh, Invuln has to be passed. There's also a heal scroll that gets popped. But that was everything invested for Soin to get that. And the Tauren Chieftain falls to another Stormbolt. GG is called, and that's a clean 2-0 for Chaemiko.
Well, clean? I'm not too sure, man. That was super competitive between them. Amazing fights pretty much throughout the entire map. It started off with the Farseer harass. It was great last hits by Soin. The game started pretty great, and Chaemiko with that one bold move to go for the Merchant, even though he lost the first fight, I think that almost saved him the game, that he didn't fall back and play passive against this. He survived until his MK was 5, even though the TC was 5 a lot earlier. Man, I'm so impressed by Chaemiko.
Yeah, and the items were definitely in his favor too. Maybe if there wasn't those items, maybe it goes a little bit different, but you know, that's still beautiful, confident play from Chaemiko. You mentioned the shop creep. You gotta be ballsy to do that. You gotta go out onto the map. As soon as the Tauren Chieftain comes out, you get creep jack, there's purge, there's stomp, you can lose a couple rifles, and losing those rifles early can be very detrimental, but he did it confidently. He even took a fight before level 3 Mountain King, and he ended up winning with an expansion at his back, and lots of mana, lots of claps on that Mountain King, and we're going into game 3 on Concealed Hill. Could be a bit of a different game here, could even be with the taverns being so close to the base, Neo. Firelord Tower Rush?
Firelord Tower Rush, man, I would love that. Soin, is the wave about to crash at the shores? Chaemiko, can he close this out? 3 and oh, what's up?
The wave, the hair reference, that was beautiful. Well done, well done.
Oh boy, this if Chaemiko wins this, he's up against Lin tomorrow, obviously, in the other semi-final. It is Fly versus 120. We could have all races represented if things go like this, but the Night Elves. Who would have thought? Not their tournament for sure, but what's Soin's way back? What's the plan B for him now?
Yeah, maybe going for, he's been avoiding the expansion like the plague just because the rifle caster is so good at pushing, all-inning those expansions, and it's really hard to hold them. But maybe going for the early expansion like Lin normally would, maybe going for an early bestiary with some early raiders, just changing it up a little bit. Or, of course, Farseer Headhunters, always an option. If you go Headhunters on Concealed Hill, the fountains are available with that early ranged army. So maybe there's some room for both players to change it up. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about the innovation of both these Koreans. But will they show it, or will it be pure standard again?
Yeah, we haven't seen too much innovation yet, just great execution. Is it time for the brain to work a little bit now and put a spin on things? Would love to see that for sure. Man, there would be quite a statement if Chaemiko puts out the Fire Lord and Tower Rushes him now, but not impossible at all for Soin. It feels like whenever he sees the rifle, he's not even trying to expand. Like, he knows, I can't hold this. It's not a possibility, but is tier 3 maybe a possibility with Tauren?
Possibly, yeah, that wouldn't be too bad, or an earlier bestiary. I think the expansion, I would say in my opinion, the expansion against Riflecaster is a mistake. So Soin's been doing, you know, the right things strategically, but I just feel like he has to throw a curveball. Chaemiko, they know each other so well. Chaemiko's so ready for everything that Soin's going to do. So there has to be some sort of curveball. There has to be something that he's prepared for the big stage. And now is the time. It's now or never. You win this game, Soin, or you are out of the tournament. Let's see what he has to offer, because Concealed Hill could be a tricky map for Orc as well.
We need a reverse sweep, but if you know the Back to Warcraft broadcast, then you know that we see a lot of reverse sweeping here in the Warcraft scene. Soin, this is already the best tournament that he has ever played. Can he fight back? Can he take it one step further? Can he put on a fight? Or is he running out of options here? Chaemiko, super happy with the tournament for sure. Super happy with that series. One more map is his best result of the career as well. Concealed Hill, map 3. Could be a clean sheet 3-0 for the human then. Or we prolong this series into game 4. This is usually Orc's home turf.
Yeah, the fountain's pretty useful. There is a lot of innovation for the creep route, Chaemiko, but I'm sure Soin, I just mentioned it, of course, they know each other very well. I'm sure Soin is aware of all the tricks in terms of creep routes for this Archmage. Is going to be a Farseer again, is going to be a Barracks again, in fact, and with that early Grunt, he got a lot of value on Northern Isles, Neo. Out of that Grunt, he had early level 2 even. It was nicely done, so the Grunt, I think, is worthwhile.
Yeah, it's not the super fast tech by Soin ever, so what's he doing with the Grunt then here now?
Yeah, on this map, there's not much. What you can do is send the Grunt and a pair of Wolves to one of the green camps, that Crab camp on the right, or the slow Cobalt camp on the far right. You can send them to those with just the Grunt and the Wolves, and then harass the Farseer. Yeah, a couple of camps. But, you know, that's pretty much all you could do, because you can't stop this initial orange camp of the Archmage with that Grunt. So it's a little unorthodox on this map in particular to go for that Barracks before the attack.
Chaemiko doesn't have to change a lot, right? I don't think there's any reason to, especially the blocks, like the way he disabled the TC on Amazonia, and then, of course, with the breakers, excellently on Northern Isles. This is maybe the #1 thing that Soin has to work against if they continue to play standard. Like, the TC needs to have more impact in the fights.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so tough. Chaemiko is so good at these little details. That's really been his specialty, is the nice little blocks. He does everything that everyone thinks you should do. Like, why isn't he blocking? Why isn't he surrounding? Well, if you're a fan of those sort of plays, then Chaemiko is the greatest player in the world probably at those fine detail plays, which is perfect in this matchup because it's so mechanic-based, it's so micro-based. And we've seen it with the perfect Stormbolts, the perfect blocks against the Torn Chieftain. And there has been good stomps, just not enough of them, for sure.
The first time in the series a Wolf is able to make it to the back of Chaemiko's base. Maybe trying to get some lumber off of us, and maybe trying to force a tower. This, by the way, Concealed Hill, if Soin forces Chaemiko into a TP, there's a very decent shot that Chaemiko portals himself in, as this happens to him in pretty much every second map.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a few times. We've even seen him get blocked behind a shop in the past at the front. A little bit unfortunate. Yeah, hopefully that won't happen. But, you know, maybe we'll get a game 4. Maybe we'll even get a game 5 if that happens too. So anything to go Soin's way in this third game would be nice for him, because it'd be great to see some more games between these two. One footman take a little bit of damage, but there's always going to be a fountain. So if you're exchanging this Farseer health for footman or Archmage health, Chaemiko can happily go to the fountain, whereas Soin kind of has to stay on him, so he doesn't have the luxury of the time of going to the fountain like Chaemiko does here.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain about a game 4 and 5. This is action-packed, this is super entertaining. So far, battle for these little scrubs here. Still no level 2. Trying to go for a surround, but the Wolves just a little bit too late. He gets the 4-unit surround on the Water Elemental. That is, of course, great experience as well. If Chaemiko is not denying. Oh, he opens it up because the Grunt has to move to the fountain on the left-hand side. Is he still able to get that? There was so much attention on that summon. Wolves are hunting the water. They are kind of thirsty in this case, I guess. And they didn't? Ah, now they did get it, right? Yeah, they did. So a quarter of a level here, and he continues to deny level 2.
Oh, waking up the creeps. Gonna maybe get an ensnare on the wrong unit. Maybe a footman. Okay, goes on the wolf. The best of both worlds for both players of where that ensnare went. Goes on another wolf. Also good for both players. Probably the most likely candidate. Okay, the footman take a little bit of damage, but again, still nighttime, there's still fountains, and there is an Arcane Sanctum. Mountain King coming up for Chaemiko, first rifles out, and a Spirit Lodge Torn Chieftain for Soin. So again, the same thing, but is this what Soin wants? Does he want a mirror matchup again, like the first two maps?
Yeah, Soin must be really comfortable or confident that he's able to change things, and maybe it's due to the fact that Concealed is a little more open and it's harder to block the TC.
Right. It could be, for sure. And generally, we actually see 2 Sanctum from the human player on this map, but Chaemiko just loves his rifles, apparently. Oh, nice dancing of the Archmage. The Archmage gets Aura. That was beautifully done from both players, honestly. A nice little dance, but Chaemiko comes out on top yet again.
Upgrades are coming in. Again, the TC with Aura, I'm not a big fan, but this time it might make sense because, of course, you want to creep the Mountain King as well. And on this level, in the round of 6, you need every split second, and you know that there's not going to be a fight, and you will probably get level 2 fairly quickly when both players are creeping and you still have your entirety of the bottom for yourself. Again, Chaemiko running to the shop immediately, going for long rifles. Is there invulns already? Going for that early?
Yeah, these upgrades have been very early. Actually, for both players, in fact. We've had 2-1 rifles very early for Chaemiko, and we've had at least 1-0 grunts early. He doesn't like to get that armor upgrade, doesn't like to get that second attack upgrade too early, but maybe today is the day to change. Maybe this is the game. Claws of Attack finally going the way of Soin, but he doesn't have a Blade Master to put him on, but at least can put those on the farce here. That'd be nice. This is a red camp for Chaemiko.
What? Okay, Wolves and Farsi are harassing this a little. Mountain King with the ring, which actually not too bad. He will take a lot of fire from the orcs, and having a little bit of extra armor is definitely pleasant. So creeping for the TC continues, and the presence of the Farseer alone is already slowing down this creep, but I think he can't prevent that anymore.
Yeah, that was a beautiful water elemental summon. It's very easy to mess that up, and with a Stormbolt, just like we saw at the shop on Northern Isles, there's going to be no way of the Farseer to stop this, really. It would take a beautiful last hit and a very big mistake from Chaemiko for him to not get this last hit and this item. The Torn Chieftain's going to get level 3. He already has, in fact, and crept that expansion, but the Endurance Aura, oh my god, the luck continues, Neo.
Yeah, especially with the way Chaemiko plays with the early sorceresses. This is excellent because there's obviously a nice synergy. If your opponent is slowed and you're a little bit faster, then the slow is even better than it already is. Interesting, by the way, how different Chaemiko plays compared to, for example, an Infi or in general the Chinese style of this. Skipping breakers for the long time and rushing sorceresses. For Infi, it's the other way around. Like, he is never playing sorceresses and therefore rushes breakers. But apparently both styles are working, so I'm not the one to complain about that here. First engagement coming in.
Yeah, this could be a very good fight, actually, for Soin. The Mountain King is only level 2, has a potion of invulnerability, but no extra mana besides what he has in the tank currently. The high ground is going to be taken by Soin. The rifles are going to have a decent miss chance. The footmen blocking in the front, but they could be stomped. Speed scroll in. Could there be a purge on a rifle? The militia all get stomped. That was really decent, and one rifle probably going to fall early.
Okay, can he get another lightning shield out? That would be great. He can't stop the TC this time, but there's no follow-up except chain lightning, which is only level 1, so it just tickles them a little. Mana for the shaman is low, and he wants to save that here for the purges. Stormbolt on the grunts, and Soin doesn't have too much supply anymore.
Yeah, that was a nice fight, though. A lot of rifles falling. The stomps were finally huge. You mentioned he needs to get those big stomps, Soin, and he finally got them. Those militia, that first rifle, and then the second stomp was knife, but the storm bolts are always going to secure kills. Chaemiko has been getting a kill per bolt all day, but not actually going to get that grunt. And the stomp again is going to save another unit. A couple of footmen fall, but there's just no rifles left. There is a tiny supply advantage, but maybe, you know, relatively even, but the priest could get caught out. Chaemiko, you need to save the last of these units, or else this will be Soin's game 3, it's looking like.
Yeah, looking real good here. CH is orc country, usually. The shaman, okay, it's empty mana now, might be falling. There's still a little bit of mana. Oh. You shouldn't lose 2 shaman here, actually. Like, this last bits of this fight are quite hurtful. No way he gets this around. Water Elemental Summon! TC surrounded! Invo Potion has to be used. He has to fight out of this. The police is coming. They want to arrest this TC. And all of this engagement was looking so good for Soin, but Chaemiko, with his wonderful micro, finds a way out and forces the TP. Godlike.
Incredible. Mountain King still needs to get level 3, but with that town portal out, you do gain a little bit of map control. The first Kodo is out level 4 almost on that Torn Chieftain, so level 5 will probably be achieved first for Soin this game if it does get that late. But the Mountain King, no mana, does steal the potion of invulnerability again with the item stealing. Again, the beautiful details from Chaemiko, and he's gonna claw his way back in after losing, you know, at least the beginning and the beginning of that fight. Even though he did force the town portal at the end, he did lose a lot of units. But here comes Soin again, and could he get those stomps he achieved by the red camp?
He has no consumables at all, not a single potion, no mana, no healing, no invul, no scroll, except the one speed scroll he has. He really wants to engage again, has the Raider out. Where's the Kodo, by the way? He did build one. Okay, far on the back so it doesn't get sniped, but the consumables definitely in favor of Chaemiko once again. Mana on the Mountain King looking fine as well. Once again, we go for the level 2 Brilliance Aura, which seems to be the move of the series to support this MK and cast even more. And here we spend some more gold. Speaking of potions now, double mana for the MK.
Very nice. And this is a cool little detail from Soin. He did this last game as well, and I wasn't sure. Or maybe it was Amazonia. He pulls 4 peons, and what this does, they're not going to do much damage, but they are going to eat that clap. And the clap has an 8-unit max, but this is a nice creep jack as well. The Kodo and the Shaman fall immediately.
Oh, no.
Speed scroll in, but he's blocked. Oh my god, so many units falling, and there's so much mana on the Mountain King.
Disaster. Soin is falling from grace a little bit. Is this series over right here? It absolutely is. With the Farseer going down, there's no way he can fight back without Chain Lightning, is there? He needs a miracle to stay alive. He's eating the clap. Yep, that's true. Stomp is nice. He's taking a couple of units out. He's actually fighting back nicely with the grunts in the back. There's no sorcerer, or not too many sorceresses this time, but it's all about that TC. He will, of course, get solo experience, but he's not really close to level 5. With all that sustain, the Archmage can stay in that fight. The Mountain King, wait a minute, he burned through 2 mana potions. Slow clap coming in now. Is he trying to TP? No, heal scroll through the forest to save a couple of units. But okay, didn't really use that. Loses the grunt anyway. Soin down to 28. Chaemiko still at 50.
Oh,
looks
man.
like checkmate.
And the expansion. Oh man, it's just another rook falling for Soin, and this is gonna be rough. There's not many rifles because the stomps again have been nice this game. The fights have not been bad. It's just the tail ends that have been so good for Chaemiko, always finding those openings. That Farseer was very exposed. He took advantage of it. And then, you know, the slow trap, as you point out, just kicks in for those couple of grunts and he's able to pick it off. And now the Mountain King is catching up in experience. The Farseer out quickly because only level 2. But the units, the army, the supply is the real story here, and there's plenty more creeps to get this Mountain King to level 5 and to catch up with the Tauren Chieftain experience.
Yeah, it's kinda rough game for the Orc now from Soin to throw in. It looked so good until it didn't, I guess. Still the big invul potion for the MK, level 4 now. We're creeping up. Maybe hoping for that one great consumable. For the mana potion, maybe for endless storms. What's it gonna be? He still has that heal scroll. It is a heal potion. Not that great, I would say.
Yeah, it's all right if you're in an even game, right? But it's not what you need to come back from a very much losing position. The high ground expansion, you can just sit here all day. What are you supposed to do if you're going to attack into that? Your Shamans, your Farseers, everything's going to be missing, and you're going to have no vision either, and you're going to need even more than just vision for that Invis Mountain King. We saw this the last couple of games as well. Invis used beautifully by Chaemiko, and the Mana Pot as well. Lots more claps in the future, but is the Orc army strong enough? Only 37 supply. Ooh, I just don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, man. On Northern Isles, it was You Shall Not Pass. On Concealed Hill, it is I Got the High Ground. From Lord of the Rings to Star Wars. Chaemiko, this is excellent, but maybe a little bit of a backstab. Against an expansion, Raiders might become more important, maybe with Pillage. We see it already. Trying to claw your way back somehow. Soin needs the big-time move, and maybe it's a Zeppelin.
Oh, I do like this. Yeah, when you're behind, go for the hit and run. He's going into Raiders. Could even retrain to Shockwave in the future. You know, Shades of Linguagua, of course. This is a way back in, but is he sending units to the expansion? He did send something to the middle, maybe Wolves. And if he can force Chaemiko back and then hit the main base at the same time, this might be his way back in. He's got to do some serious damage here, though. And there's no town portal. If he loses the Zeppelin, he is trapped in the base. And he might lose it. Speed scroll. The rifles could one-shot it. Where's he TPing? Okay, he's gonna get out. It looks like one Raider gonna fall, but a nice surgical strike from Soin.
How many peasants fell? Like 1? 2? There wasn't
Not
much.
very many, yeah.
But the Grunt and the Wolves are doing excellent work at the expansion.
A nice little attack. How many peasants are left? Only 10 currently, 11 now. But yeah, the expansion is not mining, and the Grunt is going to be lost, but the damage has been done, it looks like. And the Zeppelin we can see going back into the main base as well. And was there anything left there for Chaemiko to defend? And maybe a couple towers, maybe an expansion attempt for Soin in the future if he keeps up the hit and run. The Mountain King stayed back to defend, but can he? He's got a big invuln pot, and he's going to kill the whole army if Soin doesn't get out of here.
He has no mana anymore, so clapping his way out is not too easy. Can save the hurt units with the Zeppelin. I'm not too sure if he survives this big invul now, but everything is so hurt. How can he do this without mana? A Chain Lightning could be the end. Ah, the Archmage is here. All right, with another invul. And the Farseer again. Oh no, not like this. The Zeppelin is too far away. Heal Scroll saves him for a second. Zeppelin, the pilot. Hoo-hoo, the savior.
Oh, but all the units are getting left behind. No, he's got to save his heroes. You can't go back. They're lost. They are fallen. Oh man, the Raider, the Grunt, and I think another Raider falling, and the expansion is being harassed again. This is some nice attempts from Soin with these units, with the split pushes, but he keeps losing more than he's killing. He's only killing peasants, and he's losing actual army. 1,000 gold for Chaemiko, and the expansion still is up with 5 peasants. The tower fell, but it's not enough, I don't think. You're going to need to do some more damage somehow if you're Soin.
Supply-wise, it looks kind of even. Hero-wise, not too shabby. But yeah, he has to break the base somehow. And Chaemiko was floating in 1,000 gold. These attacks did go onto the cost of lumber. Chaemiko may be a little stuck there. And the TC is getting a heal scroll and an invul again. So does the Mountain King. Double invul, double heal scroll.
Do you go for one final fight if you're Soin, or do you try to counter expand? Do you keep up the hit and run? There's really 3 choices. You can all in that middle expansion, you can get another Zeppelin and try to double hit both the main base and the expansion, or you can counter expand. Maybe you can go tier 3 as well, but you got to do something now. You got to be decisive in your decision. If you're Soin, you got to do something. And maybe that something is attacking the expansion. He has heal scrolls, at least one, and he has an invuln, maybe going to get a second, then maybe going to go, because the Mountain King's level 5, and Chaemiko's army is not getting any smaller.
Double mana potion once again. Looks like he's going for the knockout punch. Supply gap is growing, and finally, after 18 minutes, we see the first breaker, and it feels like Soin is not ready for that. Really, one Kodo Beast, of course, but it might just be a brute force attack onto that Expo, but it's stopped in its tracks because Chaemiko's positioning is excellent. Back to the high ground, the Mountain King in front. This is gonna be a big clap, I wanted to say. There we go. Busta Rhymes of the human army makes it clap. Oh, we go off to the Mountain King once again. He wants to take him out. He wants to prevent for Cosmodan, but it's an invul potion at 50%.
Beautiful little fake on the stomp. You don't see that too often. He fakes the stomp to force the invuln, and now the Mountain King not so safe. There is an invuln that can be passed over, but it'll be on cooldown. Can the Tauren Chieftain stay alive long enough? He dodges the bolt, gets a huge stomp, and the Mountain King cannot invuln. Is this Soin's way back in? I think the Mountain King is going to die. Another clap, so much damage, but the stomp of the level 5 Mountain King is going to fall, Neo.
Oh, brute force! He was trying to cast him into invisibility, but it didn't work. And now the Archmage is next to the menu. That's a heal scroll. It's a double kill for Soin. He finds his way out. It's mass murder with the TC. He finally gets the connection. He finally gets the lightning shield. And finally the Storms are doing something. Soin, what an amazing comeback we see here. The last ditch effort. Brute forcing the Expo, and it does work. Wonderfully done. Chaemiko plummeting in supply. It's just going downhill from here, literally. GG, Soin.
Oh my dear lord. What just happened? What did we just watch? What? That was incredible. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you go breakers against the level 5 Tauren Chieftain, because if not, that's going to happen. I pointed out that play just because I thought it was a small little detail, but honestly, that fake stomp with the Tauren Chieftain, forcing that invuln and then re-speed scrolling in to kill that Mountain King when the invuln was on cooldown. There was no potion, like heal pot, I mean. It kills the Mountain King, then it kills the Archmage, gets a huge stomp on the entire army. What a comeback from Soin. Beautifully played all around. Once he got behind, he just played that Oh, perfectly. Incredible. We got a game 4. We got a game 4. I didn't think we were going to see it.
We got ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen. It is not impossible to turn a Warcraft series around. We talk about momentum quite a bit, especially Focus displayed that in November and December when on one day he was down 2 maps twice in best of 5s and he turned both of them around, became the NEXT champion and qualified for DreamHack. That was quite magnificent, and maybe he remembers that. So in his fellow Korean org Focus, and think, hey, things are possible also against human. I can do it. And if you're Chaemiko now, you had the chance to close this out. You had the chance for the semis, but you didn't. And especially when you're not too experienced in tournament like tier 1 quarterfinal situations like this, does this make you think?
Yeah, that was such a winning position for Chaemiko too, and then Soin just pulls that off. Is this where Soin goes to the next level? If he continues his play from the tail end of that Concealed Hill game through for the rest of the series, then I think he could be dominant the entire time. His micro looked clean, his decision making was clean and decisive. Like I said, he's got to do something now, and he pushes the expansion and wins the game. And going into Last Refuge, which is our 4th map, can we see that decisiveness? Can we see that mechanical play from Soin that's going to need him to get into the game 5?
It is still match points for Chaemiko. Let's not forget about that. He once again played really, really good, but we got ourselves a series finally. Speaking of the TC and the space he had on CH, there was the necessary amount of space. He was able to get into the backline. He was able to get the storms off and being followed up with chain lightning. Here on LR, gonna be a little tricky.
Yeah, a lot of choke points on this map. That's actually why we most commonly see Farseer Headhunters on Last Refuge. But yeah, the stomps are really the big difference. It's funny, you pointed that out before going into Concealed Hill. The stomps just haven't been good on Amazonia and Northern Isles. And really that was the big difference. It was during the fights, Soin was getting those big stomps, especially in that last fight on the high ground. So can he continue it up? Can he get in the face of Chaemiko? And, you know, is he going to take these good fights? And are they going to do the same strategies? Because so far, 3 games in a row, very similar looking games. And here's game 4 for everyone.
It does look like it, as we have a similar build by both of these players. Chaemiko might surprise us with an MK, but that's just a Chaemiko special that we shouldn't expect. We look at the altars, it's a Farseer with the Barracks build as the 3 games before, and it's an altar with the Barracks build as in the 3 games before.
Yeah, very similar. The one thing to look out for on this map is, of course, the exchange at the mercenary camp. We're going to see that peon go down for Soin. That peon is to do one thing, is to deny the footman from pulling the golem at the merc camp to buy the priest for the human player Chaemiko here. So the first little exchange will be had at that mercenary camp. Other than that, a little bit of a, you know, different creep route maybe from Soin. People have been changing it up a little bit on this map, but for Chaemiko, that footman going to find that scout peon, and we'll see if Chaemiko's able to get this priest early on. It'll be very good. The Farseer won't be able to get any harassment done.
All right, here we go. There's a peon against the footman. That's, of course, a very one-sided affair. Can he steal something? Can he mess this up? It's a lot about creeps here on Last Refuge. And what's the idea of Soin? He's rushing over, trying to intercept this as Chaemiko is going for the green. He's not pulling anything yet, giving the Farseer some time to arrive.
Yeah, that peon's going to make sure that he can't pull the merc camp. It is going to fall, but he did a good job so far. Is the Farseer going to go for that priest? It looks like he will. And he did go for a grunt as well. But the thing is, Chaemiko could run up there and maybe stop it. He actually cleared the whole camp. Normally you'll see humans just take the item before going for, before running up straight to the priest to stop the orc player. But Chaemiko didn't do it. So the replenishment potion is going to go to the Farseer. A little bit of experience as well for the Farseer.
Exactly, and the replenishment potion then. That's of course wonderful because he skipped the shop early to have a little bit of a fast attack. But nonetheless, he can get some HP and mana back. This is almost new wolves. It's basically a heal self. Last hit goes to Chaemiko. Super close to 2 now.
Yep, one more creep. Won't say a critter this time because a little bit more than 1 or 2 experience, but yeah, very, very close. And the Murloc camp's going to be pulled to try to secure that. It looks as though Soin's going to give a little bit of space to this Archmage. Tier 2 tech, of course, for both players. We'll not see a fast expansion so far for Chaemiko, and that isn't really his style. The style is the Rifleman, and we're going to see the Blacksmith as well.
True. It's again the rifle style for Chaemiko. It worked really well for 2.9 games, then there was this attack by Soin. So I don't think there's a big reason to change things up for Chaemiko, especially when he knows that this map is a little more narrow than CH was. So we continue with the harass. Soin, I wonder if he knows that he has to be really careful with the wolves. If he donates one, that's the Brilliance Aura.
Yeah, that's very important. That's something Chaemiko is going to be very aware of. If he can snipe one of those units, if he can catch Soin slipping, then he can get that level 2, get that aura, and that's going to be crucial once he hits tier 2. Yeah, you could almost go creep the Murloc, but of course you want to save a lot of camps for both your Tauren Chieftain and your Mountain King on this map. The Priest, the next one going to be stolen, could be a decent item. Maybe Wards would be the best here for Soin, and the tier 2 is about to kick in. And again, the early War Mill, so again, probably Grunt Shaman against Rifles. A very cool one base meta we're seeing between these two Koreans.
It is not something we see all the time, especially like Northern Isles. There's oftentimes humans expansions, but not by Chaemiko. Oh, Archmage is a little hurt here, but he has 2 replenishment potions. He can definitely afford to lose a couple of HP if he's left alone. Nice little sidestep. Soin pulling a messy here. Is that finally the lacking experience? Oh, wonderful. He surpasses him in experience. No way! He steals that as well with the Chain Lightning. Wonderful sequence of moves for Soin. Continues to deny the Brilliance Aura.
Beautifully done, and one more creep here to be picked up for either player, but oh my god, the Archmage! Oh! He gets it with the last hit! Incredible from Chaemiko, a little bit of a mistake from Soin, but there's the aura. Both players with some beautiful plays getting their level 2s at last.
Yo, this is what it's all about. Maybe one last hit, just one split second, and not getting your heroes surrounded. Soin playing with fire.
Yeah, they're both very detail-oriented players, so we're going to see crazy exchanges like this, and that's why these two are so entertaining to watch. And the Rifles, of course, are going to be very entertaining, as we're going to see a lot of action in the mid-game. The Tauren Chieftain is already creeping up. The Mountain King about to pop out, and Chaemiko pulls the shop so that he can start to creep that as soon as possible.
We have a claw once again for this fast here soon. He popped the first replenishment, popped the second replenishment, so he's not holding back and juices up a little, just like Remo and Knopf. Footmen are a little hurt here, so a regen scroll wouldn't be too bad. Greater mana. Greater mana.
That's nice. Again the items. I mean, wait, I'm trying to remember what the items were last game. Yeah, he got good items last game too. Is this a whole series-wide thing? The Farseer, again, a whole series-wide thing, doing a lot of harassment. 2 Footmen. Beautifully done with that Chain Lightning. Even denies the Wolf. Ooh, Soin is starting to pick up the pace, and he's starting to look real pretty. I like to see it.
Yeah, the Farseer lives by arrive, raid, sell, leave, and to stay safe against the Stormbolt. Stormbolt was a vicious weapon so far. Doesn't want to fall for that, but yeah, a little bit of PvE here, a little bit of a treasure hunt to go into the mid-game.
Yeah, we'll see what treasures they're able to get. So far, nothing too crazy on the Tauren Chieftain, but he will get the level 3. A third Footman going to fall to just the Farseer, but it did its job. It scouted that there was no expansion coming up. There has not been an expansion on the Orc side the entire series, except for, I think, one that got cancelled one time. Maybe not even that. The Mountain King getting a Hellstone, and, you know, Mana Stone would be nice there, but he's already got enough mana in the future, so Hellstone may be the best item to get there. But now the Consumable could go the way of Soin. You could get a lot of good stuff here, namely the big mana pot, of course, for that Tauren Chieftain.
Can't see it yet, as it's still in the Ogre Magi's pockets, but there it is. Greater mana on both sides. This is gonna be a crazy first fight with this AoE once they're on level 3. But Soin, is he finding the timing again where his TC is 3 but the MK isn't? It's getting close.
He does this consistently, takes beautiful fights. It didn't work out one time, and that was on Amazonia, but other than that, he's been able to take nice fights with an earlier level 3 Tauren Chieftain. Oh, but he's blocking the way, but the 2 Rifles are definitely out of position. The Tauren Chieftain is always low. He has a potion of vulnerability, though. The Grunts are getting beautiful surface area. The Clap was alright, but not the best. The Stomp is actually very beautifully done, but the choke points that you were mentioning over and over again, they're coming into play right now.
Yeah. Took him some time again to get into the right position. He was blocking himself, unfortunately, with the Wolves. Maybe Wolves too. A little bit of an issue. But maybe he also identified, dude, your breakers are incredibly late. I'm gonna have level 4 because you before you have your breakers out, so the wolves can continue to raise some hell, or at the very least, if I split them well, force 2 Theos Pulls. And that is more mana that doesn't go into healing or can't deny lightning shield. So that could be good. Here's a lightning shield. The Stomp doesn't connect on the TC. He wants the units and he gets into a wonderful position. Wants to follow up. Still Invo Potion on that TC. Might want to dodge it. Oh, he dodged the Storm Bolt, but he was 1 meter apart. Wonderful. An Epicenter Stomp to follow this up.
Oh my god, level 3 Mountain King finally Town Portal out. Is the Torch Chieftain gonna make it out? Stormbolt, it's gonna go down again! It always falls at the last second, and that's always Chaemiko's way back into the game, is killing that second hero of Soin. He does it again and again and again. He can't keep getting away with this. Unbelievable.
Both players full speed ahead, but Soin runs into a wall. That hurts. Little bruised up now, has to wait. The TC even bought back at the tavern with the last bit of gold he had. That was a huge investment. Gold that Chaemiko puts once again into the Mountain King. The big mana is gone for the dwarf. He buys a small one and continues creeping, with the Archmage being put to the side.
Yeah, level 4 waiting in the wings for both secondary heroes. Level 3 for the first heroes is nice. Level 2 on the Aura, of course, for the Archmage. Level 4 will give him maybe level 1 Blizzard again, which wouldn't be too bad. But the Farseer would love to get level 4 for that level 2 Chain Lightning. He's lacking. The Wolves are great for now, of course, but they're going to fall off over time. The Water Elemental is a beautiful scout because Chaemiko would have committed to that red camp if not. Here's the Sorks, and that's nice. There's not too much Shaman mana, but there's definitely enough to catch a couple units off guard.
Okay, are we willing to fight? Oh, there's an entry for the TC with the Speed Scroll. Wants to connect again, but Dispel and a little bit of slow on top as well. But wait, is he just surrounding this MK and kills it off? Oh no, the wolves disappear thanks to a Dispel. The Sorcerer is saved by their own invisibility and a little bit of healing as well, but the MK, he's stuck now, I guess. Is there a way out? He does have the Health Stone, he does have the TP. Can he brute force? This doesn't look like it. There's no heal scroll for Soin anymore. This might be the deciding moment of that series. Health Stone consumed, and that Stomp a little slow. Speaking of slow, TC makes it to the side, but can be crowd controlled. Soin down to 37, calls for the GG. It wasn't his quarterfinal here. Big fight by Soin, but the victory goes to Chaemiko. 1 moon is out, but the humans still